Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanacharya Yamuna Tira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nugovardhan Dham Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Should we add the D real quick? No? Okay. Kali Yuga hasn't become that bad yet where we can't remember to add a D within the next 5 minutes. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 21, Instructions by Maharaj Prithu, Text 50. You have two different colored bead bags there, Glenn. One's saffron and one's white. Are you debating whether to be a brahmachari or a householder? Okay. Natyabhutam idam nata Tavajivanushasanam Prajanurago mahatam Prakriti karuna atmanam Natyat bhutam idam nata Tavajivyanushasanam Prajanurago mahatam Prakriti karuna atmanam Natyat bhutam idam nata Tavajivanushasanam Januraga mahatam Prakriti karuna atmanam Okay, word over word. Na, not. Ati, very great. Adbhutam, wonderful. Idam, this. Na, nata, O Lord. Tava, your. Ajivya, source of income. Anushasanam, ruling over the citizens. Praja, citizens. Anuragaha, affection. Mahatam, of the great. Prakriti, nature. Karuna, merciful. Atmanam, of the living entities. So you know it's age of Kali when this word specifically here, ajivya, which means source of income. This is the main concern of the residents of Kali Yuga. What is their source of income? That's how you know it's Kali Yuga. One symptom. Okay, translation. Means, not God realization, not self-realization, not what is the goal of life, not who am I, not where am I going, is there a life after death, but it's just source of income. What is my source of income? And that's how people are judged. You have a nice paying job, you must be a wonderful person. You must be a very intelligent, wonderful person. And this guy, he's a monk, he's a parasite. That's how people are sad. Translation. Oh, dear Lord. Excuse me. Our dear Lord, it is your occupational duty to rule over your citizens. That is not a very wonderful task for a personality like you, who are so affectionate and seeing to the interests of the citizens, because you are full of mercy. That is the greatness of your character. Purport. A king's duty is to give protection to his citizens and levy taxes from them for his livelihood. Since the Vedic society is divided into 4 classes of men, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, their means of livelihood are also mentioned in the scriptures. The Brahmins should live by spreading knowledge, and should therefore take contributions from their disciples, whereas a king should give protection to the citizens for their development to the highest standard of life, and he can therefore levy taxes from them. Businessmen or mercantile men, because they produce foodstuffs for the whole of society, can take a little profit from this, whereas the Shudras, who cannot work as either Brahmins, Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas, should give service to the higher classes of society and be provided by them with a supply of the necessities of life. The symptom of a qualified king or political leader is mentioned herein. He must be very merciful and compassionate to the people, and to see to their prime interest, which is to become elevated devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Great souls are naturally inclined to do good to others, and a Vaishnava especially is the most compassionate and merciful personality in society. Therefore, we offer our respects to a Vaishnava leader as follows. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Only a Vaishnava leader can fulfill all the desires of the people. Vancha kalpataru. And he is compassionate because he is the contributor of the greatest benefit to human society. He is Patita Pavan, the deliverer of all fallen souls, because if the king or the head of the government follows in the footsteps of the Brahmins and Vaishnavas, who are naturally leaders in missionary work, the Vaishyas will also follow in the footsteps of the Vaishnavas and Brahmins, and the Shudras will give them service. Thus, the entire society becomes a perfect human institution for combined progress to the highest perfection of life. Om Nigyanatavadandasya Kananjana Shalakaya Chakshuvanmaditam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Makam Karirvachalam Pangam Mangayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Diditaranam Vancha Kapadirubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So read the translation again. Our dear Lord, it is your occupational duty to rule over your citizens. That is not a very wonderful task for a personality like you, who are so affectionate and seen to the interest of the citizens because you are full of mercy. That is the greatness of your character. So they're addressing Prithu Maharaj. So simply by a few days ago in one of the purports, it was mentioned how that not simply by being advanced in age is one automatically advanced in knowledge. So in other words, one could be advanced in age and not advanced in knowledge. And you could say one can also be young, materially speaking, and very advanced in knowledge. Like we have Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami was the speaker of the Bhagavatam. And how old was he? He said he was 16 years old. And he was speaking to a whole assembly of sages who were much older than him, many of them. And Narada Muni was sitting there, Vyasadeva was sitting there, so many great sages were sitting there. And we have Prahlad Maharaj, he was 5. We have Dhruva Maharaj, 5. So it's not simply by age that one becomes advanced in knowledge. That would be nice. You just get a little older, get some gray hairs, right? Just stick around and immediately you'll advance. That'd be nice, I guess. But it's not like that. So, and similarly, you could say just entering a particular position in a society, whether it be a great leader or means a great position of leadership, within any group doesn't necessarily mean one is advanced in knowledge or advanced in different ways necessarily. Just like I remember hearing my godbrother, Srup Damodar Prabhu, he was temple president there in South Africa for many years, for like, I don't know, over a decade. But he was given a Vyasa Puja offering to my spiritual master, and he was saying that being in your association, speaking to him, he said, being in your association, I realize it's not enough just to have some intelligence to manage things and to work things out, but I have to be Krishna conscious. So yeah, people may be very intelligent, you could say, in some ways, but in some ways they're not intelligent. Just like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, mamam duskritina mudha prapadyante niradama maya prityagyana asuram bhavamashita. So the four types of people, Krishna says, don't surrender to me. The atheistic class, the class of mudhas, which means like donkeys or beasts of burden, just hard workers. Maya Pritigyana, they're intelligent. They're intelligent materially. Intelligent, but their knowledge has been stolen by illusion. It means they become bewildered. And these different classes don't surrender. So, but we see here with Prithu Maharaj that Prithu Maharaj was advanced in knowledge. And everybody understood that. He was advanced in behavior, advanced in knowledge, and everybody respected that. Everybody understood that, and everybody therefore surrendered to him as a leader, as a protector of them. And it said that they had so much faith in him, that it was as if they were directly under the agency of the Lord. That's what they felt. So, going back to that point of being advanced in knowledge, but nowadays, because people are so puffed up, people are so proud, they think that they're advanced in knowledge. And a lot of the times, due to their bodily conception of life, they think, I'm advanced in knowledge just because I'm old. Like, I'm old, so you should listen to me. Well, maybe you're just an old fool. Maybe you're just, maybe you're an old person that's brain dead due to all the television and illicit sex and meat eating that you've engaged in throughout your whole life. Maybe you don't understand anything. Maybe you don't even believe in God. So how can I listen to you at all? I mean, why should I listen to you at all? So it's not just simply by age. One has to become qualified by spiritual education, by initiation, by a bona fide spiritual master. They have to be by surrendering to Krishna. The more one surrenders to Krishna, the more they're qualified, the more they're advanced in knowledge. And the more one is not surrendered to Krishna, the more they're not qualified. So yeah, again, people are proud nowadays, so they think I am very advanced. And they think, oh, what are these Vaishnavas doing, right? They think, what is this Hare Krishna movement doing for humanity? In other words, their values are completely distorted. So they think, what are these Vaishnavas doing for humanity? You're just laying around being parasites, right? Eating and sleeping, praying all day. And they'll say, you give me health care, and I'll join your movement too. I don't want to work. They'll say that. I don't want to work. Okay, you don't want to work. So, I mean, Prabhupada spoke about this. He said people, they think, oh, look at our temples. These guys are just these women and men. They don't work. It means they don't work like us. Because the fact is, a lot of these people, you give them $1 million, $2 million, $3 trillion, however much money they need to sustain their lives for the rest of for the rest of their lives. If you say, hey, I'll give you a big check and you won't have to work anymore. You want to do that? They'll say, yeah, immediately. Yeah, I'll do it. And they won't work the rest of their life. They'll just enjoy, right? So Prabhupada spoke about this, and he said that it was out of envy. They're envious. That, oh, we have 10 motor cars, we have a big temple, nice prasad, right? Not working for money. Not working like they are. And Prabhupada said, oh, they're envious. They're thinking, how are these people living like this? Why can't I live like this? It's like, okay, you want to live like this, and you come live like this. we invite you. But they can't do that. They don't want to do that. And this idea is actually offensive. I mean, it's a parasite is somebody who's just completely leeching off society. They're using people, they're using society, they're not contributing, they're not giving back. So to compare devotees to this is actually really offensive. And many people do. I mean, you go out on Sankirtan, you go out on Harinam, and what do they say to you? Yeah, get a job. I remember I was walking with Javita Prabhu one time. We were out on Harinam downtown, and someone yelled at Javita Prabhu, get a job. And Bajranarayan Swami said he dealt with that too, and he said that I do have a job. I'm trying to save a bunch of fools like you. That's my job. Trying to save you guys from your ignorance. So yeah, they don't really understand. They don't understand the value of life because they're bewildered by the illusory energy of Krishna. And to think that you are a successful person, like Krishna, they also think, oh, Krishna conscious for the bum class or something, like the loafer class. Like, okay, you guys could go out and preach, and you guys could go out and do your thing, okay, fine. And if you get a few losers to join your group, you saved them from going to prison, and saved them from being drug addicts. You saved them from being homeless. You get a few homeless guys off the street. Yeah, it's successful. But you shouldn't go after the intelligent class, people with a brain. You shouldn't have them join. They need to become, great doctors and lawyers and really contribute to society. Right? You guys could just have all the loafers. But okay, fine. You want doctors and all this. Okay, fine. But we want the intelligent people, and the fact is, Krishna consciousness is for the intelligent people. It's for everybody, but it's for the intelligent people, especially, you could say. Especially in the sense that we need them to become spiritually qualified and become leaders. Or else how will the Hare Krishna movement go on? It's very hard to have a movement go on if there's not, you could say, qualified people, to help it go on. It's very difficult. So these are all, you could say, misconceptions. Now, these types of people, they'll say, my son or my daughter, why do you want them to join the Hare Krishna movement? They're very bright people. They'll have a very bright future, and you guys are just trying to ruin their life, by having them become parasites, monk parasites. Right? Might as well just call them monkeys, monkey parasites, aka monks. But what is this bright future they're talking about? What are they really talking about? What is this bright future? I mean, okay, you become a big doctor, big this, big that. Okay, fine. You help a few people in their material bodies. Just like we had a doctor here, acupuncturist devotee, Jai Gore. He said, oh, I want to retire. I'm getting really sick of this, working on all these materialists. And he said the acupuncturist, he just works on them, puts needles in their body. He said, I'm helping these people get well so they could just continue their godless lives of sense gratification. Godless sense gratification filled life. So it's like, okay, you become a big doctor and you help all these people, okay. And that's your bright future. And then you just fast forward the movie a little bit, and then your body's in the grave. Like I just went nearby, Point Loma. I was there yesterday. There was some family members. There was, this huge cemetery, hundreds and thousands, possibly thousands, of tombstones. It's like, oh, that's your bright future, right? Congratulations. And then you just take another material body. It's like, that's not very bright. And, these people, they say, and they're very convinced, they say, I know I am the material body. And I know I have senses, and I know my senses have urges, and therefore I'm going to try to fulfill them. And I know that the land that I'm born on is worshipable, my family is worshipable, I love my family. They don't even know what love is. They think love is to bring their children to McDonald's and feed them, beef or something like that. That's love, Without loving Krishna, no one could know what love is. So most people don't know. I'm very attached to my family. Okay, fine. You know what Krishna calls you in the Bhagavatam? He calls you a cow or a donkey. This is your big qualification. Yasyatmabud here. What is it? Yasyatmabud here. Anyways, it's in the 10th canto of the. Tridhatuke. So he says that if you are just a materialist on this level, then Krishna calls them no better than a cow or a donkey. So in a cow or a donkey, they're not very bright. I mean, no offense to our cows at the farm. But a donkey, you're not a donkey. No, he said he's a donkey. No, he's not a donkey. They're not very bright. So the people who say, okay, yes, bright future, okay, fine, but your qualification, according to Krishna, is that you're living on a low-level existence, namely like a cow or a donkey. So how can you propose a bright future for your dependents? You cannot. Because the whole conception is wrong. The whole conception is wrong. Therefore, they say that the path to hell is paved with good intentions. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. So, I loved my family. I love this. I love that. And it's like somebody's addicted to drugs and to all types of horrible things like that. And so I love them. I'm just going to give them as much as they want of it, right? Even if it's killing them. So the love that people are talking about is not really love. It's just a complete misconception, distorted. Okay, there's something there. There's some kind of affection there, completely covered by the modes of material nature, but it's really not. It's really distorted. So the Vedic system is that the brahmacharis are not parasites, and the sannyasis are not parasites. These are important orders of life that the modern materialistic people cannot understand. That, their only concern is ajivya, source of income. What is my source of income? And how to entertain myself, right, before I enter the grave, before my body enters the grave. So brahmachari life is most important, one of the most important stages of life. In that a brahmachari becomes trained how to be a proper human being, how to control the senses, how to control the mind, how to respect Krishna, how to respect everything, how to respect the creation. they become qualified as human beings, and then they're let free out onto society to become householders or whatever. And then there's some chance of good family structure. Similarly, the women are trained in a different way. And then there's some chance of good family structure. And without good family structure, I mean, things just go really weird, like nowadays they are. And the brahmacharya life is also not just for children. People think, oh, this is, just for children or something. No, it's not for children. There's many senior, especially within India, elder brahmacharis within Gaudiya Math, for example, also within ISKCON. And it's not just for kids or something, not just some kiddie fun or something. You could remain a brahmachari your whole life, and it's respectable. And then there's household, and then vanaprastha, then sannyas. Sannyas is an important stage of life. It's not that sannyasis it's not that sannyasis are parasites in society. So in other words, sannyas is good. It is beyond good. Why? Because it teaches, and to respect sannyasis is good. Therefore, whenever one sees a sannyasi, they should immediately bow down. Why? Not because we're just, worshipping mammon or something, worshipping, right, humans, but we're worshipping the principle of detachment, that this person is detached. And therefore we even offer obeisances to Mayavadi sannyasis, Prabhupada said in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we offer obeisances to sannyasis. It's important. And even if someone says, well, how do I know they're qualified? Well, you still get the credit. Whether they're qualified or not, you get the credit. Because sometimes I hear devotees, oh, there's been so many problems with sannyasis over the years, and oh, how do I know this person's qualified, this, that, and I just bow down knowing my guru, right, who's a sannyasi. Okay, fine, but it's not that fine, but how do you know he's not advanced? Maybe you're missing an opportunity. Even if he's not, whatever, then you still get the benefit. Krishna sees that, and you're respecting the culture. So yeah, it's important. The principle of detachment. Just like Prabhupada. Prabhupada left his family. It's great he left his family. It's wonderful. That is the system. That is the Vedic system. You leave your family. Man specifically leaves their family and takes sannyas. Now nowadays it's very difficult to understand. People don't know, it's cruel and you're leaving your family. I mean, another thing is, how many of the families stay together in the first place? Most men, they leave their family for another woman. And then when he gets tired, another woman, like that. But at least within the Vedic system, they're leaving family life for Krishna, for God realization. So the idea is that sannyas life, actually our life is meant for God. Our life is meant for Krishna. Our life is not meant to just drag on our whole entire life without really pushing ourselves to surrender to Krishna and just remaining on a low-level existence. We have to push ourselves, and especially in the older years of life. Therefore there's sannyas, vanaprastha sannyas. So this detachment needs to take place. Because we're coming closer to when we need to leave this body. So therefore we need to become fully attached to Krishna. Therefore the principle of sannyasa is there. People don't understand this, and therefore they are grihamedis. Grihamedis means not grihastas, grihamedis. Grihamedis means someone who doesn't understand the value of human form of life, and they are not charitably disposed to Brahmins, to sannyasis, to brahmacharis. They're not charitably disposed. Which means that they do not really respect those orders, which is wrong. And they think, oh, all the money's for me and my family. Okay, fine. You could take that money and go to hell. You could take that money and and just live your selfish life. So Krishna says that householders become purified by giving charity. That's how they become purified, or else they become too attached to their money. So unfortunately, people nowadays, they think, oh well, these guys are parasites. The monks, the brahmacharis, sannyasis, and they're parasites, and I'm not giving any of my hard-earned money, and therefore they remain grihamatis unpurified. So yeah, this brahmachari life, it's important, and household life, it's there. It's also important. It's part of the Vedic system, but to live it properly, under the right conception, which means to support the missionary activities of the Hare Krishna movement in different ways. So, and here it says, lastly, is that a compassionate or a advanced personality, great souls are naturally inclined to do good to others. So you could say good people in general means people who have a good heart are inclined. Last thing about Prabhupada said, all these people, they go to Vrindavan. They go to Vrindavan and they make all this money, big business people, right? Make all this money. And then they give all their money to their family, right? And then they go to Vrindavan with some pennies or something. And of course, they make sure that the family, wires the money somehow to have their, basic livelihood throughout the rest of their life. But Prabhupada said, that's not good that you give all your money to your family and nothing for Krishna. You have to give to Krishna. Temples, maintain the temples, and so many things. A good person is a good-hearted person, naturally wants to do good to others. But the question is, okay, what is good? We have to know what is good. Now that's a big topic, but like Prabhupada said one time, whatever Krishna said is good, everything else is bad. Bas. Bas means finished. So, but you could simplify it by that whatever Krishna says is good. And everything else he didn't say that others are saying is bad. Bas. So you just have to read what's in the books. We have to read what's in the books. Now, of course, certain philosophies, they have aspects of what Krishna says and what Krishna agrees with, so therefore we accept. But but the point is to understand what is good for humanity, what is good for people, and that is to elevate them to the platform of Krishna consciousness, so they become elevated devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by missionary work. So that is the Vedic system, that there is brahmacharis, there's sannyasis, there's vanaprasthas, there's grihastas, and they're all supposed to support each other and work together for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, to do real good to people, which means to elevate them to the platform of Krishna consciousness, to raise them, to educate them in such a way as they become elevated devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is good. And all these other ideas of good is just sentimental, irrational, completely, Disneyland conceptions. Disneyland, Chuck E. Cheese conceptions. Everybody knows Chuck E. Cheese, right? Oh my God. And by not getting with this program, that's how people remain. You have Chuck E. Cheese and Disneyland for the children, and then for the man children and the woman children, you have Las Vegas. It's just another get all worked up and Comic-Con. Full-grown adults living out their childhood. Yeah, so it's yeah. There's like 50 casinos right here in SanDiego. They're just opening up more and more. Not 50, but I'm exaggerating. But at least 10, 5, 10. Okay, so the idea is that, okay, fine, we don't condemn anybody. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just saying that we ourselves have to have the right conception. And all these people can completely become elevated, right? Like, example, Jagan Mari. By the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, all these people become elevated lovers of Krishna. So we hope, we pray, we endeavor that ourselves we could follow properly, and ourselves we could try to help these people and become elevated and have the right conception. So that's what. So it's not a condemnation class. The class is ultimately supposed to help us all have a right idea, but help us help us to consider that, yeah, we should try to help these people become Vaishnavas. So, all right. So, does anybody have any questions or comments? About anything? Yes. Srimad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Try.
I don't see how you can say that we don't condemn. Because we do condemn.
I guess you could say condemn eternally.
No, that's damning.
Yeah.
You don't damn him. Condemn means we criticize. But Prabhupada would always say, don't blame me. It's Krishna.
Okay.
Blame
Okay.
Krishna.
If condemn means criticize, which you're the English editor here, and others obviously know the English language, such as Mukundacharna, then we do condemn. We criticize.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, condemn. You take it in from the law court.
Yeah.
Then you're condemned to a sentence of whatever. But that's not.
I guess you could say it's not. This isn't supposed to like reject people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to come across.
For sure.
Out of hate, out of just reject these people. All these people are useless.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Reform them.
Okay.
So we do. We do condemn. We do criticize, but we do not reject. Yes. Because sometimes these words, I mean, you know how it is. These words, people use them in a certain way, and then they get hijacked. Because a lot of the times people, we're not condemning anybody. It's kind of like a saying, like, I mean, yeah, don't be so judgmental. Well, why are you judging me then? You're telling me not to be. You're judging me, right? Just go on with your own business then.
Yeah. The amazing thing about that verse, because a lot of devotees quote it, it was spoken by Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra when everyone went there doing this eclipse, and he was taking the role of an attached householder.
Yeah.
In that, he's praying to all these sages who arrive, that they would enlighten us. Actually, his father was also prayed to them. And they were just like aghast. Their jaws dropped. You have Krishna as your son. You're asking us for advice in your spiritual life? Come on, you've already achieved Krishna. But they played along because he was, covered. But Krishna took, he got into the mood and he said, "Oh, please enlighten us. Yasyatma buddhi guna vedradhatake." We're identifying with this gross body in an attached house.
Interesting. Oh yeah, I was going to say that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there's this book, it's a series of essays on the nectar of instruction, or the Upadeshamrita by Srila Rupa Goswami. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes in one of these essays, he talks about, which is a very important book, and he talks about the principle of criticizing others. And he says that sometimes somebody in the position of a teacher, they may criticize others. They may criticize others with the with the goal of giving, the students the right idea that, oh, this person's wrong. And they may even use their name sometimes. Oh, this person. Like Prabhupada would use different people's names sometimes. Sometimes he wouldn't. So, of course, it also says that in doing that, one has to be very careful, because they have to analyze what's in their heart. Is there some hate there? Is there some envy there? You have to analyze what's in their heart. So, anyways, it is there for the purpose of teaching. And also, just the other day, a few devotees were discussing this idea of using names. Like Satsrup Das Goswami, one time, he had an interesting idea, which actually would be maybe, I don't know, for like in-house, maybe it had a document or something. Actually be quite, for like in-house, because we do have in-house books. It's like, there's certain books that are just meant for devotees, really. Right? There's so many books really meant for devotees. Like, in other words, like advanced, So, so he had this idea, Sarvasvas Goswami. He said, Prabhupada, I want to make a book. And in the book, this is a book. In the book, I want to, list all the different types, all the different main gurus, in the world, the bogus gurus. And then he said, I want to write how each of them are wrong, on what way they're wrong. It's quite interesting concept, actually. It would be nice in the sense that at least devotees would know how they're wrong, and maybe if they have to talk with somebody who's a follower of that person, they could have an idea of what to say. Just like they made that book. What was the book called? Shamasundar and Prabhupada. Oh no, that philosophy book. Spiritual. Yeah. And Beyond Illusion and Doubt and Dialectic. Of course, it's what he said, okay, well, not all the philosophical points were right on, but that's another thing. But the concept's interesting. What is it?
Some may say with that spiritual dialectics, not all the arguments.
Like Ravindra Swarup Prabhu said, not all the arguments were presented properly. So that's why I don't think we... but it's an interesting concept. So anyways, Satsrup Das Goswami had the idea to do that, and Prabhupada said, no, you shouldn't do that. And he said, if you hit a skunk, your hand will smell. So he said, better not do it. So anyways, that's another. All right. What, skunk?
It makes you smell. It makes you look bad. Well, he was not using their name. He was saying, like, because Prabhupada, he was sometimes using names, but generally he talked about the principles. If anyone thinks this,
Hey, you want to use that mic? Mukunda Charna?
Well, because the idea being that rather than using their names, if we can just talk about the principles. In one case, my spiritual master uses the example of, I don't want to go into the whole thing, it's kind of a long story, but his thing that someone came to him saying, oh, I heard that your disciples are saying such and such Swami is a rascal. And then this Indian man's very upset. And Prabhupada says, who said that? Who said I said that? If they said I said and I haven't said, then they're all rascals, all my disciples. And then he said, so then the man was kind of pacified, and then Prabhupada picked up a book, I think that, I'll use the name Dr. Radhakrishna, Bhagavad Gita, and he gives it to the man, he's like, read this verse. He's like, and he reads it, and Prabhupada says, very nice translation, very good translation. He's like, read the purport. He goes into the purport how it's not unto Krishna we surrender, but and he's like, therefore I say they're all rascals, because he's making the point that if anyone who says that, who takes the verse and then twists it into the purport, says the opposite in the purport, that's a rascal thing to do. But generally he wouldn't even use the name, or a lot of times he would just say, if anyone thinks this, then they're a rascal. According to Krishna, if they think this or they do this, they're a rascal. And then you say the principle, and then people can more easily digest it. Whereas if you just use their name, people have this emotional response to it, and then it makes you kind of look like just a jerk, or they have like a bad emotional response toward you. Yeah, if someone were to smash Sadhguru or something, it might make them think you're just a jerk. So that's the idea.
Well, Prabhupada at the Cross Maidan, Prabhupada preached very heavy, especially in India. He really and he would go after gurus. I don't know if he used their names a lot of times publicly, but everybody, kind of know who you're talking. Like you know who you're talking about, right? So people know who he was talking about. And afterwards, one time, some life member went up to Prabhupada and said, "Prabhupada, Swamiji, you really like your class, this and that, but if you could just kind of reduce or not speak so heavily against." Prabhupada said, "Well, what to do? I have to point out all these so-called gurus." So.
And also, Prabhupada would use the name for certain gurus, like Maharshi. He used a ton, actually, even like in radio shows, like television, like recordings. He'd use.
Yeah,
his
that's
name.
true. Sometimes
he'd even bring it up if they didn't bring it up.
People would ask him, "What do you think about Maharshi?" And Prabhupada would say, Maharshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maharshi's like the title, like Maharaj, Mahesh is.
Okay.
But but some, in one case, like I think it was a radio conversation, like 67, 68 something. They asked him a question. He brought up. He's like, just like Maharshi, So like sometimes he would even bring it up. But on the whole, then there's the other thing. Sometimes he didn't recommend that people do that, but he did do both.
Well,
Yeah,
it was interesting one time. My guru, he was thinking about getting into scientific preaching, and then he asked Prabhupada about it in L.A. He said, "Prabhupada, I was thinking about getting scientific preaching, and what do you think about that?" And Prabhupada, he said, "Oh, well, you're a psychologist, so you could, So he probably wasn't encouraging him, but they kept on speaking. Then he said, "Oh, well, when we meet these people, I know sometimes you kind of use like heavy language, like fool and rascal." Yeah, he said you use heavy language to fool, rascal. So should we like follow that, or? And Prabhupada said, "Oh no, you speak like a gentleman." It's kind of interesting, Prabhupada said that. But, anyways, there's so many ways to look at it, but I guess each case is different when it comes down to it. Okay, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.